Want help to grow your business? Download Bryn, the world's first business advisor in your pocket. To find out more, visit bryn.ai or search the App Store today.
Are you wondering how to build a website, or maybe thinking your website isn't up to scratch? You've come to the right place, because this week on Teach Me Tech, I'm joined by this guy, Carl Taylor, and we're going to talk about all things WordPress. Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Teach Me Tech. My name is Pete Quist and this guy over here is Carl Taylor from Automation Agency. How are you, Carl?
I'm good, thanks, Pete.
Now, Carl does all things to do with WordPress, which is a very good thing because today we're going to talk about how to set up and use WordPress, and this is something you can help us with?
Absolutely.
Great. So when I say teach me tech, we're actually going to teach everyone tech, which is good, including me. So WordPress is something that I'm pretty familiar with too, but hopefully between the two of us, we can get two different opinions and we can come up with something for the people at home that they can implement too. So the thing about Teach Me Tech is we're going to take new and interesting tools and concepts online, break them down, learn them for you, and then give you a step-by-step guide so that you can implement it at home. Is that something we can deliver on today?
I think we definitely can.
Okay, let's dive straight into it. Two quick things before we get started, everyone. First of all, I want you to follow along at home. If you've never joined us on Teach Me Tech, we are highly practical, and if you've got a second screen, grab it now because you can actually play along at home yourself. So hopefully by the end of today, we're going to do some pretty cool things with regards to websites. And also remember to ask and share. Jump on to your favorite social media platform, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. We've even got a Google Plus logo up there. So hi to everyone that uses Google Plus, but use the hashtag Teach Me Tech. Can you do the hashtag thing?
Hashtag.
Yeah, that's good. You're cool now. So Teach Me Tech, of course, the hashtag Business Blueprint as well. So let's take a look at what we're going to cover today. What is WordPress and why do people use it? Who uses WordPress and why it's so popular? How to register your domain name and set up hosting? What are the key things you need to look for in a hosting provider? How to decide if you should do it yourself or hire a professional? The Getting Started Guide to installing and setting up WordPress? How to make the decision between using a theme or going custom? Where to get quality themes and how to choose the right one? And finally, how to customize your theme to add your own personal touch. So let's get started. Carl, we are going to cover all of that in this one episode.
Wow.
Did you come prepared?
Absolutely, I'm prepared.
Okay, so let's kick it off with what is WordPress and why do people use it? Now, first of all, for viewers at home, as I said, Carl is from Automation Agency. What is it that you do with WordPress day to day?
Day to day, make tweaks on websites, make changes, set it up, find bugs and fix them, those kinds of things for businesses all around the world. So
you're telling me WordPress has bugs?
It does, unfortunately.
Okay, we'll find out more about that as we chat. But what is WordPress? For people that are watching, I mean, it's very easy for us to kind of assume that everyone knows what WordPress is, but it's not the case. What is WordPress?
So WordPress is very much what they call a content management system. And a content management system really is a way of putting your content online without having to custom code from scratch. So WordPress is a framework, or if you liken it like a car, it's the engine that makes the car run. And so WordPress is the engine that makes your website run.
Okay, so what's the difference between WordPress.com and WordPress that I can use on my own website?
It's a really good question. So there's two versions of WordPress. There's the WordPress.com, which is a hosted platform, meaning that you sign up, it's free, they're both free, but you sign up and create your account and you will end up with a mycompany.wordpress.com domain name. And you don't have to worry about hosting, you don't have to worry about any of the extra techie things. The problem is, compared to WordPress.org, which is the one that you can actually download and install on your own hosting provider.
Which is what we're going to talk about today.
Which is what we'll talk about, absolutely. The key difference is functionality. WordPress.com is a great little get start. I would say it's better for people who are just doing a blog, but not so great if you're a business owner, which I know the viewers are. So, it's the best choice if you had to choose. just go wordpress.org. But be aware there is a wordpress.com option out there, and if you've come across it, just know that's not the one you're looking for.
Okay, so we talked about it as a content management system. There's other content management systems, a lot of them out there. Some that come to mind are Joomla and Drupal and Magento. What's the primary difference, and why would we choose WordPress over some of those?
Yeah, that's a good question. The primary difference really comes down to community, I'd say. At the end of the day, it's a personal preference for you to choose. They all have different pros and cons, but WordPress is used by a lot of companies all around the web. And the WordPress has a huge community of developers, so you're never really kind of left out in the cold, that if you get one person to build your website and then later down the track that person goes out of business or they're not available anymore, which can happen, there is a huge community around the world of people who know WordPress, can edit it, can make changes, and you're not left alone. There's also a huge community of plugins and add-ons and things that you can do to extend functionality.
So it's a great place to get started, because as a content management system, you don't have to do all the heavy lifting of building a website, right? It's already done for you.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's move on and let's take a look at who uses WordPress and why is it so popular. And I believe you've already brought up a web page to demonstrate here.
I'm prepared.
Oh, let's see, that's good. One of us. Excellent. Okay, let's take a look. What have we got here online?
So yeah, I've just pulled up a web page here, and this is by a website called wpbeginner.com, and basically WordPress is utilized by, as I said before, a huge number of companies around the web, and most notably some big brands like TechCrunch, which is a very large tech magazine, online magazine, The New Yorker, another really big company. BBC America runs their entire website off of WordPress. The official Star Wars blog.
Well, wait a second. The official Star Wars blog?
The official Star Wars blog. I'm sure there's a lot of unofficial Star Wars blogs run on WordPress as well, but definitely the official one is powered by WordPress. Variety, so another magazine. Sony Music, their website's built on WordPress. MTV News, and the list goes on. Beyonce, there you go.
Stop it. Okay,
we all have to go now if it's Beyonce's on it.
Let's just end the list there. We've got Beyonce on board, so that's reason enough for me. You've convinced me. But why is it so popular? We've kind of touched on a few of those details already.
I think the biggest reason that it's so popular is the ease of being able to expand it. It's almost like if you've got a smartphone and you install apps. WordPress is literally, to add new functionality to your site, can often be extended by just picking the app you want to install that gives you that function, and that's probably one of the biggest reasons it's so popular.
Hey, I just thought of another website that uses WordPress. This one that we're on right now, businessblueprint.com, is indeed a WordPress website. So that makes sense. Okay, so let's take the next jump. We've decided we're going to use WordPress to build our website. And this is very 101 stuff. So some people might be sitting at home kind of yawning and go, oh, this is so beginner, but that's the exact market that we're talking to right now, because the fact of the matter is there's still only a very small percentage of businesses out there that actually have an internet presence.
It's true. It's very true.
And also on that fact, not only is there a small percentage of businesses that have a web presence, there's also a very high percentage of businesses where their website is absolute garbage.
Yes, that is true as well.
Now, you come across this every day, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, so tell me about, for some of the viewers out there, why would they choose to move to WordPress from their current website?
Great question. I think ultimately the moving to WordPress just creates that platform, that foundation, if you like, that you can easily build and change and make changes. You're not locked into a custom coder. If you've got a site that's currently been custom built, it probably cost you a fair bit to get set up. And you're really, if you want to get someone else to do the edits or make changes on that site, it's going to cost you a lot, or possibly you can't because that person isn't around anymore. Whereas, as I said before, WordPress, huge community of developers, lots of companies out there that can support a lot of free resources as well. I mean, that's probably going back to popularity. I think a big reason it's so popular is it's free, and there's a lot of extra free. There's paid add-ons as well, but a lot of free add-ons. So, it's just going to give you a huge foundation to expand and grow later.
Okay, and like a good politician, I've just completely changed the subject. So let's get back to where we were.
Yes.
How do we register a domain name and set up hosting?
How do we register a domain name and set up hosting? Well,
Actually, before you get started, we had a discussion earlier on about this exact thing and which sequence it goes in. Do you purchase a domain name first, or do you purchase hosting first? And we've got two different ideas here.
we do.
So which way do you go?
Well, I mean, I'm kind of a fence sitter, I suppose, in that I think you could do either. Personally, I usually would buy the domain name. I'm a bit of a domain name hoarder, if you like. I have an idea and go, oh, that's a good idea, and I'll just buy the domain name and just build up a lot of domain names and one day maybe build a site for it.
Because domain names are cheap, of course.
Yes, absolutely.
How much would you be looking at spending on just buying a domain name?
So different types of domain names come at different prices. In Australia, you got .com.au. You need to have an ABN to be able to get a .com.au. And I think they're at the moment around $20 a year, maybe even that for 2 years.
So if there's a company, because there's people watching and they're going to say, my company charges me $100 a year or maybe $20 a month even to have my domain name. They're being absolutely rorted, aren't they?
Potentially, most likely, yes. There are different setups, and you've got to check at what you're getting. If you're literally just getting a domain name for 2 years, which is how .com.aus can be registered for 2 years, you've got to make sure, one, that they're officially registered. There are some companies out there that will sell .com.aus that aren't actually officially, technically allowed to sell them, and that can be challenging. But as long as you know that they're legit, you know people who are using them, you're probably pretty safe. And yeah, you'd be looking around $20 for around that price point at least for a legit person.
Great. So I guess the lesson here is let's stick with a bigger company, a well-known company. And I think for our example today, we're actually going to use one of the biggest in the world. So how would we register a domain name? Let's head online and take a look.
Take a look, yeah. So there's a bunch of different providers that you can use to get a domain name. There's different arguments about should you get your domain name with the same company you get your hosting with. If you wanted to be really safe, you would be probably better to get a different domain name and then a separate company that does your hosting, just so that you're never really quite locked in if something was to go wrong. Now, if you're going with a bigger company such as GoDaddy here, Bluehost, some of the other bigger name companies, you're probably not going to have a problem. But if you are working with some of the smaller developers, definitely you can still work with them and get domains from them. But if they are going to sell you the domain name, they're also going to provide.
To continue enjoying this presentation, download Bryn, the world's first business advisor in your pocket. To find out more, visit bryn.ai or search the App Store today.